we're back to Michigan City, and by way of Detroit, which, you know, Detroit Bob's loving that. So here we go. All right, here we are. We're pulling into the antique mall, and I haven't been here in 20 years, so God knows if they have any vinyl. But if they do, Detroit Bob's gonna find it. All right, you can tell just from the sign that this place has been here for a while, and that's okay. So it says open, and that's my favorite word. So let's check it out. There we go. Yeah, it looks promising. Very cool.
I asked her if it had hers had ASTRO. Why don't you give her some booth numbers?
Yeah. All right, cool. All right. Oh, okay.
This is how the mall is set up, and this is where we are.
Okay. So all the ones circled are albums and vinyl.
Yep.
How cool is that? All right. All right. This is cool. They gave me a map to the old records, and we're going to start off by going to booth 77, 80, and 81. Albums, vinyl. Now, if you want really old records, those are records. They're recordings. Those are the original Edison cylinders. So then you move up into high fidelity. That was more the 50s. It's a 1966 high fidelity. So not even stereo yet. But look at the speed. 78, 45, 33, and don't forget about 16. I'm loving this already. I got 45s. So let's see what we find. I don't have my chest mount camera today, but I think you guys will forgive me for that. Not paying 15 for an old Cricket. Wow. 18, 20. These things are a little overpriced, but I'm still gonna look through them, right? Why not? That might be decent. That looks good too. A lot of these I already have. Steely Dan, it's a good record. Not for $8. Profiles in gold. Oh, that's just a... This is an album. It's an album of records. But it's a record album. Just like a LP is an album. When you had 45s, you put them in an album. Or 78s. Argo I would normally pick up. That one's like good condition, which it's pretty beat up. I'm getting a little more picky in my old age. Notice no Rolling Stones or no Beatles so far. So these have been gone through. Deer Forest Memories for $50. It's actually a good record right there. Red Wine. Sometimes one slips through the cracks. Air Supply. Johnny Cash, overpriced. Dizzy by Tommy Rowe. There's the Beatles, $10. Tommy Cash. Matisse. Canned Heat going up the country. That's a good buy. $2 I'll pay for a Brenda Lee. There's a new special on PBS about Brenda Lee. They were talking about it on Flash Phelps' show today. I like Junior Walker. Yeah, I already got enough to get an episode in here. I hit this 45 booth right off the bat. So I hit booth 79 and 80. So supposedly there's some here in 77, sure enough. Look at that. Now these seem to be a little high priced, but every once in a while you hit a jackpot. And I don't mind paying $5 for a $20 record. Don't be afraid to take and move stuff for your comfort and convenience. Put on my other glasses. All right, we're gonna go through these pretty quick. This is where you gotta know your labels. Because if you can see your label from 3 feet away, but you don't even have to read the writing. Pull it once you figure, okay, co-ed. Here's our price a little high. You know, you see people complaining about prices. But, and again, like I said, if you get a $20 record for $5, don't see any chess. Looks like since my grandson just found a truck. See what we got in this little next box. Nothing jumping out at me. Remember, for the beginning collector, you might pick up a few of these. But I've got 10,000 plus now. So I'm learning to discipline myself and not just buy everything I see. So I would call this phase 2 of my collecting James Brown. I really like Super Bad Parts 1 and 2 by James Brown. And if I found that in good shape, I'd probably pick it up. How fast can you go through these? I like how he's got it written up here. It makes it a little quicker. Alright, Drink and Be Merry. Tony Bennett, R.I.P. What a great voice that guy had. I love The Shadow of Your Smile by Tony Bennett. I could die for that song. Paul McCartney and Wings on Apple. The Kingsman. I don't know if it's the same Kingsman of Louis Louis fame. Look like 2 words, maybe. To the Clark, the Rose Garden. They look like they've been going through. It's an old label right there. Not at $7.95. Wabash Blues, that's an old. That might be worth taking a chance on for $5.95. Okay, I'm almost done. I love the Trogs. Japanese Sandman. There's an old VJ, Wade Flemings. I think I got it. Someone said Elvis is dying off a little bit, like his popularity. I look for Prince, David Bowie, Michael Jackson to rise up above and beyond Elvis in terms of collectability, if they haven't already. Satellite radio, I think, is introducing more and more people to groups like Queen, and their catalog just keeps going up in value. That's a great record, but not for $10. Probably not going to find anything in this batch. What if I get out of here? Kingston Trio. Mills Brothers. Yeah, everybody knows Get a Job. Get a job. Impressions. Amen. I'll pick up that Impressions for $4. That would be Curtis Mayfield and Jerry Butler's band. Here they are again. A little rough in the condition. So these seem to be priced irregardless of condition. That old blues one was really beat up. I think I'm going to call it quits after this, but I'll come back. No label there. Where's your Kinks? Where's your Stones? One Beatles in this box, but not for $10. Johnny Paycheck and George Jones. All right. Cool store. I mean, this is the old Victrola, right? And that's a 78. So if you were playing your records, $399, it's 1910 to 1921 technology. You would wind this up first and you drop that needle. A lot of times they had a big cone that would come off of it, and that was your big amplification speaker. I think Victor got bought out by RCA. There's the old dog right there. So it became RCA Victor. Some cool Americana in here. Some old railroad signs. Supposedly Booth 24's got vinyl. Here we go. Looks a little bit more modern. This might be a quick stop. I'm not going to go through LPs today. So if they don't have any 45s, I think I'm going to call it quits. Cut my losses. Or my wins. Yeah, this is an old LP booth. And on another day I might do that. But I think I'm pretty happy. Just a wild menagerie of stuff. Very well organized, very clean. The aisles are wide. You got room for a stroller. You can buy stuff from the 1900s. You can get sort of retro 1950s, knickknacks, Americana. you name it. But this place is, I'm definitely going to come back. Michigan City is going to be on the rise, and little places like this will boom. And here we are at the antique market, and they are at, it looks like I-94 and US 421. That's Michigan City, just south of the Comfort Inn. So if you guys want to go there, I would recommend it. All right, definitely happy with my little finds. Got my little bag, got about 5 records, averaged out about $3 per record, so definitely coming back. All right, we're leaving Michigan City, heading back towards Chicago. I think Michigan City is going to be the next big thing. So look for this area to boom. You got everything. You got the lakefront. You got a lot of room for people to expand. You got some older downtown areas just begging to be repopulated and redeveloped. And you're easy to get to. You got major highways. You got Chicago O'Hare and Midway, less than an hour away, and they just fast-tracked the South Shore all the way to Michigan City, and then you can take that to South Bend if you want to catch a Notre Dame football game. Hey, Detroit Bob, it's Christmas Eve day, and still time to get a last-minute Christmas gift. I told you about that frame at Hobby Lobby that's perfectly round and fits a 45. I told you about Target. Go get the Bob Marley Legend album for your kid, but I got a line from Mic Drop that Tractor Supply Company's got 20% off LPs. So that's where I'm heading. Make sure you check out RockMine. We're at 730 subscribers. Click on that button and watch a few episodes over Christmas on your big screen. I think you'll like it. It's all in 4K and you'll get a kick out of it. Let's go hit the Tractor Supply. All right, I'm pulling into the Tractor Supply Company, and I tell you what, I never thought they would sell vinyl, but Mic Drop sent me a link, and let's check it out. All right, Tractor Supply Company. I bought a rowboat from them. I get my propane refilled here. I never thought they'd sell vinyl albums. Maybe some Carhartt clothing and hats, but we'll see. Find out. Do you guys have record albums, someone said?
Yeah, we have some right there.
Cool. All right, cool. There you go, man. A limited supply, but I'm loving it. Looks like they're gearing towards country. 20% off. I'm liking that even better. See what they got. All right, a little bit limited selection here, but you got Chris Stapleton Higher, 14 songs, 2 LP. How much? $45. Interesting. Huh. And Miranda Lambert. I think I know her sister is a singer too. And I think she's originally sang Kid Rock, Picture. Huh. Morgan Whalen. I don't know this dude. Born with a beer in my hand. There's 36 songs on it. All right, nothing jumping out at me, but I'll tell you what, that's a pretty cool looking vehicle right there. All right, when all else fails, you go to Walmart. Merry Christmas. Let's see what they got in the vinyl department here. All right, we're in the electronics department. So they used to have a vinyl rack around here somewhere. God only knows where it's been moved to. One of these aisles. Let's go back over this way. I think it's down here. Boy, they got it shoved over in the corner now. All right, so you think you're gonna find a 45 in here? Good luck. I'll tell you what though, these Audio-Technica Bluetooth are not bad for a starter kit. If you got a kid, you can buy them one of these close and play Victrolas for about $40. That's not bad. Storage stands, Crosley, you know, to start with for $44. Why not? You know, get a kid interested in vinyl. You could pick that up last minute and probably be pretty happy with it. So these are like suitcase players. They fold up and there's a little clip there. Carry them around, go to your friend's house for 12, 15-year-old kid. Yeah, that'd be good. Even a 10-year-old kid would like that. This one's a little bit $159 for the Audio Technica. And it's got Bluetooth, so you could, I don't know why you'd want a turntable to play Bluetooth, but apparently that's a big deal. Let's look through some of these albums. This is a great album. Like, you should have this in your collection. 23 bucks, that's a good price. I mean, it's a little old now, but I bought this. It's like live on radio, so it's really organic sounding. Pick it up. I would call this alternative country 101, so I would definitely pick this up. This has got the big hit, just right on down the line. Tennessee whiskey, you know, you got to have that. Great movie from the 80s. I don't know if the soundtrack holds up as much as like a Pretty in Pink, though. For all you Zac Brown fans, Queen's Greatest Hits, not so much. Black Pumas, they're good. That might be worth a dive. West Side Story, a lot of greatest hits, packages, which, you know, I'm not a big fan of, but sometimes they're good. Let's do Wide Angle. Adele, of course, Oversaturated. Journey. I had this album. This is a great album if you just want to start with Crosby, Stills, and Nash. I got this when I was 12. Let's see what else I got. Bon Jovi, not so much. Zac Brown again. Pink Vinyl. Walmart does get some exclusive colors in their pressings. Luke Combs. Shania Twain, she seems to be trying to make a comeback. Aerosmith. Custom colored vinyl. The ultimate greatest hits. Might be worth a try. Nothing's just jumping out at me. Little Mermaid. Creed's greatest hits. That, you know, actually my wife would probably like this. You know what I mean? But I'm going to pass. I already got her Collective Souls new double. Todd Rundgren. Interesting. Is this self-titled? Whoops, that's a Disney. Ooh, I saw the light. Hello, it's me. Bang on the drum. That's a good buy right there. It's like his greatest hits now playing. I might pick that up because I really don't have a Todd Rundgren album. Can We Still Be Friends? It's got the 3-hit rule. All right, so I just said I wasn't going to buy a greatest hits, and I'm buying a greatest hits. Rod Stewart, Harry Styles, Zac Brown. The Tyler Childress is, I already got it, otherwise I'd buy it. Definitely. I don't know who had somebody's back. Journey. Matchbox 20. Some of the 90s stuff is already nostalgic. You know, you got to wait at least 5 years for something to become nostalgic. So the 90s stuff, believe it or not, is 25 years old. So it's nostalgic 5 times over. Best for the Doobies. It's a great album. I would get that if you just, that green Coke bottle. It's sort of a cool, I think I actually bought that here. I don't think I would buy a Johnny Cash. There's, what's her name? Swift. Midnight's her old one. Pass. I like American Recordings. If you're going to jump into Johnny Cash, he did the 4 with Rick Rubin producing. I would buy one of those and then work backwards from there if you want to be a completist. A lot of Johnny suffered from, I think, some bad production. Pearl Jam's first album on some of his mid-70s and 80s stuff just doesn't sound, once he gets in Rick Rubin's wheelhouse, I think he really brings out the true sound that Johnny Cash was meant to sound like. Now here's the one they just had at Tractor Supply Company, and it's 38 bucks here. So instead of 45, and I was gonna get 10% off. If I wanted it, I would pick it up here for 38. Hot Space, that was a later release by Queen. That I think Half Speed Master, that's a good quality. I would give it a try if you're a real big Queen. I think it might have Don't Stop Me Now on it, but don't quote me. I don't know who that is. An interesting cover. Fleetwood Mac's Greatest Hits. Just get Rumors, and then Fleetwood Mac. That's it. I'm gonna get one album. I'll probably get it from Michael. All right, last but not least, you got Best Buy. And they got vinyl in here. It's sort of all thrown in there, but you never know. I could find a bargain. Last minute. All right, sort of a zoo. It seems to me the vinyl's over this way. I don't know if I want to wait a half hour to pay. They're still selling the big screens, the high-end equipment, the JBL speakers, all the Bluetooth stuff, and there it is right there. Lo and behold, this place used to have a huge album rack, and it's reduced to 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 bins. Let's see what they got. Looks really well. Detroit 2. What the? Bruce Springsteen live in '75. This is a good greatest hits package if you want it. It's a 2 LP set. You gotta have this in your collection. So right there, Beatles, A Rubber Soul, and Revolver, probably their 2 best albums in my opinion. Even better than Sgt. Pepper's. There's that Creed's Greatest Hits. Silver Smoked Vinyl 2 LP. Etched Side D for 30 bucks. I don't think you can. Dave Gahan and the Soul Savers. I don't know who that is. I should. Ed Sheeran, no thanks. Vlogging Molly. Rusty Patina vinyl pressing. Interesting. It's a good band. The Irish pub type. Aren't they the Franz Ferdinand? They had their 15 minutes of fame. Pearl Jam, Foo Fighters. Pearl Jam never gave up on vinyl. So I have an Alabama Shape, Gaslight Anthem, American Slang. I'd like the single that came off of this. It might be worth checking out. They got a real earthy, sort of a Springsteen sound, but maybe with a UK twist on it. Iron Maiden, Let It Be. It's probably my first Beatles album that I really was schooled on, but you know, I was 6. Linkin Park, 90s rock once again. Los Lobos. I don't think we're gonna find anything here. McCartney 3, a lot of hype. I don't think it lived up to it. North Mississippi All-Stars, Nirvana, okay. Amy Whitehouse, like I said before, get this. This is White House 101, Rehab's a great song. Stained. There's your 90s nostalgia. This is a great album. And I've been playing it all Christmas. And my wife's like, oh, this is really good. And it was great to have company over around the bar. And I don't even have their first one, but that was an award-winning album. But it's aged well, too. Radiohead. Who's that? Almost looks like Keb Mo. Odara. I don't know him. Odara. These old guys have no idea who they are. Seether, JT. It's probably Justin Timberlake. Disney Soul. Seethers. And we're almost getting through Z. Nothing to write home about yet. Okay, if you wanted to get your dad a couple cool vinyl albums and he doesn't have them already, just go back to Rubber Soul and Revolver by the Beatles. This is, I saw these guys live, double remastered. That was the mashup of Stone Temple Pilots Now here's your Victrola, sort of their higher end, you know, slimmed down. There's your $68 close and play. Here's your sort of grandpa's. I got one of these, but $219. Prices are way too high. Sort of a mid-century modern take on it. Very cool design-wise. I don't know how much the price is on that. They're probably, it's got a freestanding little pedestal on it. So, yeah, you know, I would go Audio Technica right here. If I was just, I'd spend the 200. Unless it's a kid, I'd get that, but I'd look around because you can probably get it for 40. I've seen it as low as 20. Definitely a Motor City madhouse in here, as Uncle Ted used to say. So let's get out of here and get home and celebrate. Have some nice libation for Christmas. All right, Detroit Bob, I'm gonna give Target one last try on the vinyl front. So far I struck out at Tractor Supply, Best Buy. I actually did get a decent album from Walgreens, or I mean Walmart. All right, I think last time I was in here, I called it a ramshackle mess. And let's see if it's any different. Got some people coming in, looking around. Vinyl's right here on the left. At least it's by the front door. I don't see any 7-inch. What's a guy got to do to get a 45? Okay, the Eras tour book. That's not even an album, it's a book. Lana Del Rey, I've been hearing some good things about her. What's this? That's a CD. Moon Music. Okay, nothing. I'm interested in Lana Del Rey. I'd like to hear some of her stuff. I think it's like pretty much pop. I told you about the Bob Marley album, so definitely get that. This is a decent album from the 80s, but I don't know if it'll hold up, you know, 35 years later. Amy Winehouse, we talked about that. That's a good pickup. Pink vinyl. So Target does have some like colored vinyl stuff, and then it just falls off real quick. Beastie Music, you know, Beastie Boys, just go back and get their original albums. Once again, everybody's done that. This is a really good album. I think this would play real well. Remember the Meat Puppets backed up Nirvana on this. At least the brothers from the Meat Puppets. Kirkland, I think their name was. Smashing Pumpkins is getting some decent respect in the collector's world. And Goldmine just did a feature on them. So Billy Corgan, James Iha, and I forget, Jimmy Chamberlain, is that the drummer's name? She's no longer in the band, but they're out there putting out new stuff. The classic Nirvana album. It's funny because I don't think that holds up as well. U2, the singles. I think U2's getting a little stale too. So that's what I don't like is where's the A through Z? That's Chronicle's a great. Yeah, this is really a good pickup. So I would pick this up for Dad. Chronicle is a greatest hits. I've got it on cassette. I've got it on vinyl. Nothing else jumping out at me. Zach Bryan. I didn't miss anything. Elton's been getting a lot of press lately because he came out against marijuana legalization. I give him a lot of credit for that. Speaking his mind, he doesn't feel it's a good thing. I'm not going to opine, but, you know, he certainly has the right to be able to do that. Whoops. She sold a lot of albums this year, let's just put it that way. There's the Cowboy Carter. Was not impressed by the performance Christmas Day at halftime. You know, it was just sort of, okay, very theatrical, grand entrance on a white horse, Lady Godiva, and then she did cover of Jolene, which is, I was like, okay, so that makes it country, right? So, just my opinion. All right, that's it. Nothing really exciting to buy here. So that's what you get at Target. You get one row, and then it goes right into a lot of teeny bopper stuff. toys and books on the other side. Hey, welcome back to RockMine. This is Detroit Bob. We just had our first What's Not app, and I auctioned off some records. A little glitchy, but you know, the first time is always crazy. We're still on Discogs at discogs.com, user/Detroit Bob. It's actually discogs.com/user/Detroit Bob, all one word. And of course, we're on YouTube, where you're probably seeing this, but if you don't know, it is actually youtube.com/@RockMine, RockMine. That's the name of the show. I'm Detroit Bob, and RockMine takes you all over the country, all over the world to find great vinyl records. My niche is 45 RPM, and I got another little bag we're going to go through today. So check that out. It's growing. We're getting closer to 1,000 viewers, subscribers, I guess we call them. And we are also approaching 400,000 views. So this week, Michigan City, we went back because I keep going past this little, right there, antique market billboard on I-94 when I come back out of Michigan. So we've been to Michigan many times. So I said, you know what, we got to go here. So I grabbed my daughter and grandson and went up there. And this is what we found. First of all, it was sort of nice because I asked for vinyl, and the guy just handed me a map with all the vinyl booths circled. So if you go there, go into 71, 80, 81, and 24, right there. Boom, he knows what I want, and he sent me right to it. So nice, clean store. It's been there forever. I was there 20 years ago. And I try to be a little bit more disciplined. I'm always looking for Northern Soul. I ended up spending a total of $15. So that's pretty reasonable for me. So, you know, they've got tons of stuff there. And this place is located in Michigan City, Indiana, just south of the Comfort Inn, basically at I-94 and US 421. It's the main intersection right there. You can't miss it. And they got collectibles, books, silver, china, pottery, railroad, Indian art, clocks, lamps, furniture, jewelry, everything you would expect an antique market to have. Like I said, got out of there with a decent price. I ended up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's see what I got. Let's go through them one by one, and I'll give you a closer look. Right now, you know who's hot? Is the Impressions. And why are they hot? Because Curtis Mayfield's band was the Impressions. Now, Jerry Butler, I believe, is the founder. Curtis Mayfield came in later. And their version of Amen, which is an old Southern gospel song, my mom used to sing it. It's really, really good. It's just a soul version. So here it is. It's a great looking record. I'd give this record probably a very good on a rating as far as condition. There's some little bubbling, but that's in the manufacturing process. I haven't entered it into Discogs yet, but I will. But this will play real nice. And the B-side, I'm going to give it a very good rating. The B-side is Long, Long Winter. And there you go, Curtis Mayfield as the writer. And then Amen was probably a spiritual going way back to Jerry Goldsmith. This record, it doesn't have a date on it. I'm going to say it's probably late 60s, early 70s, probably more in the 1968 era. But I remember my mom singing Amen when she was doing dishes. I paid $4 for this record. What I hope it's an $8 record. But I'll probably list it for $8 and just let it sit there. If not, I think the more you see of the Impressions and Curtis Mayfield popping up in popular culture, you're going to see more and more people just rediscover this group. So there you go, the Impressions, number one. Number two, you got to love your Junior Walker and the All-Stars. Now, this is a beat-up copy of something that I didn't have. So there it is right there. What does it take to win your love? And this is sort of a slower, jazzy. I'm going to give this a good or a good plus. This is all sort of dirty, but I'll clean it. And I'll use my cleaner. I'll get it up to maybe even a very good. Backed with Brainwasher Part 1. So this has got some scuffs and some scratches. But you got to remember on a 45, even a good 45 will play without skipping. So this is at least a good, it might be a good plus. I don't know if that scuff, it'll get up to very good, but it's a placeholder. So how much did I pay for it? This one I paid for $2. I wouldn't pay $4 for this, but I would pay $2 for that. Probably overpaid a little bit, but I didn't want to come out of there empty-handed. So 2 great soul records right off the bat. Put that there. What else do we got? Canned Heat. Canned Heat. Now everybody knows that. That's a $2 record going up the country. I'm going up the country, water tastes like wine. I'm going up the country, water tastes like wine. You know the song. It's been in so many movies and commercials. And it's scuffed up a little bit. I'm going to give it a good plus, but I think it'll clean up and it'll play great. Future Blues is a B-side. This would be really nice to have as a twofer with On the Road Again, but you don't see that often. But anytime I picked up Canned Heat, it's like the ultimate hippie band. I do believe they played at Woodstock, although I don't know if their footage got left on the editing room floor. Just a gravely underrated band. Okay, and this might be from the film Woodstock. Interesting. Maybe the hit was from the film Woodstock, but this could be a live cut. So I don't know. I'll have to look it up. I haven't looked any of these up yet. I will. So let's see what else we got in our bag of tricks. Junior Walker. This one here, UB40. Now, why do you know that band? Because they were huge in the 80s. But you know the song Red, Red Wine right there. Great, great record. And you pick that up when you see it. So UB40, great band. They were big in the 80s. I went and saw them at the Michigan Theater in Ann Arbor, Michigan. And we were in the balcony. And when they played Red, Red Wine, the balcony was literally going up and down 6 inches because everybody was bouncing to that reggae beat. And these guys had a great career. They basically took old reggae songs and re-recorded them. This was actually an old Neil Diamond song, and there it is right there. Neil Diamond is the author. So it's a great, great record. I would give it a very good plus, maybe a very good on condition. And it was only $2. So you got to pick that up. I don't know if I got it in my collection or not, but even if it was a double, I would pick that up. And last but not least, from the Michigan City Antique Market, what do we have? We're going back to Brunswick. It's a $4 record, and it's by Jackie Wilson, Doggin' Around. And it's an older gold Brunswick label, and the B-side is just simply called Night. So I'm going to give the condition a very good on that. The label looks old. I've seen these Brunswicks. It's got the double bar, single color print, gold label of black ink. I'm going to say this is older. So this might have some collectible value beyond $2.50 that I paid for it. So I don't know. I'll give you a final total and we'll pick a gem out of those 5. But Jackie Wilson was, of course, sort of a precursor to Motown. And I do believe Berry Gordy wrote some songs for him. But Your Love Is Lifting Me Higher, everybody knows that song. But he had like a 5-octave vocal range, so he's insanely good and talented. Reet Petite was another big one. That might be the Gordy penned hit that he had. But he's got some good stuff. You see John wrote his name on the label there, so he took good care of it. So we're going to definitely categorize these, and I'll pick one of the 5 as our gem of the week. RockMine is the name of the show. YouTube.com/@RockMine. So tell your friends, tell your family. Discogs is where I sell this stuff. So as it comes in, I put it out. So there's a pipeline of records coming in every day. I got an endless supply of 45s. I got so many connections and so many sources right now that you wouldn't believe it. So discogs.com/user/Detroit Bob, and you'll be able to buy one of these if you want. probably next week. So check it out. Check out the show. And I'll get that What's Not app up and running, and you'll be able to do some live auction stuff with us. But there's a few glitches. It's always funny when you start something new. But I did get my first live auction in the book, although I think it was an utter flop. But that's where you start, folks. It's been great. Happy New Year. 2025, we're going to keep rolling. I think we got 50, this is our 58th episode, something like that. So we're going to keep rolling. The episodes are going to get bigger. They're going to get better. They're going to be at a little more better editing, better everything. So if I can get it a little bit better every time you watch, and you tell and share and subscribe by hitting that button down below, it all works out very good. Once again, discogs.com/user/Detroit Bob if you want to buy these records. Also, if you want to tell your friends and just type it in your phone, hey, check this out, youtube.com/@RockMine. Or you can just Google the word RockMine, RockMine, all one word, and you'll see my face pop up like number 3 or number 4. So that's how you help me out, by subscribing, and sharing and commenting is good too, because it just gets the ball rolling and it bumps me up the algorithm, which I don't really care, but I do care. Let's face it. I want this to be a hit. I want you to enjoy it, and I want to make 2025 an excellent year. Now let's see what that gem of the week is. All right, let's wrap this up. I forgot to show you Little Anthony and the Imperials. And once again, I got that from the antique market, and that was in Michigan City. So definitely check that place out. They had a lot of really good booths, and everything was priced equally. So that's a $2 record. It's very good condition. But here's the gem of the week. And we talked about Canned Heat and what a great band they are. But this is the A side, Future Blues, right there. And what I know, Alan Wilson. I don't know if it's a group effort, but there's a ton of guys listed as a writing credit. It's in stereo. It's on Liberty Records. Turns out it's a label variation. So none of that was in Discogs. This record was Going Up the Country is the B-side, and that's the one that everybody knows. As featured in the film Woodstock from the Liberty album LST 1000 Canned Heat Cookbook. Wow. So that might be a live Woodstock version of that. But anyways, the font is totally different. And then the spacing is totally different. So I listed that. It without all the variation, it's an $8 record. I paid $2 for it. I went ahead and listed it for $9.99. So I think it's some kind of weird variant. Those can be valuable. And sometimes it's just they ran out of labels, or they set it up and someone typeset it a little bit different and ran another 10,000. Who knows? But I'm going to give it a listen and see what it's all about. All right, here it is. My guess. Let's see, I got it on 45. I think so. My guess, it's a live Woodstock cut. I don't know. That sounds like the version I've heard a million times on classic rock radio. What a great album. Or 45 or single. Who comes up with this? I mean, it makes you just want to just get in your car and go up to the country. I mean, is that good or what? It's like a falsetto. This guy was a large man. The singer. What do we got? Flute there? Liberty Records. It says 1969, I think, for the release. I don't know what all the Woodstock is all about. Unless all these years we've been hearing this single and it was a Woodstock cut, but that just sounds way too clean. There's no crowd noise. Someone out there knows. So let me know. But what a great pickup. It was marked for $2. Like I said, I got it for sale for 10. So I think I won, and I only bought 5 or 6 records. So there was that antique market in Michigan City. So I'm starting to like Michigan City more and more. I know you guys are giving me heck because I called it gritty, but I'm heading back to Michigan City pretty soon. But it's a historical document too, so any info on this song or this record or the reference to Woodstock would be appreciated. Cheers, we'll see you next Friday. Subscribe, red button below, share, comment. This is the B, actually the A side. Future Blues by Canned Heat. This might be the original jam band. Huh? That's good stuff right there. Like pure straight up rock and roll, man. All right, Future Blues with Going Up the Country. Canned Heat.
This has been another episode of RockMine. We will see you next Friday. And get up there to Michigan City. Check it out.